In 2025, homelessness is no longer a hidden issue. It's becoming an overwhelming crisis, even in the wealthiest cities around the globe. Rising housing costs, economic inequality, and systemic failures have left thousands without shelter. Hello, this is Advent Traveler back with another video. These are the 8 largest cities now struggling with extreme levels of homelessness, painting a harsh picture of modern urban life. Please consider smashing that subscribe button and let's dive right in. Despite its fame and wealth, Louisiana continues to lead the nation in homelessness. Tent cities stretch across sidewalks, underpasses, and even beaches. The city's housing prices are astronomical, and mental health services remain limited for those most in need. Shelters are overcrowded, and food lines stretch for blocks. Community efforts and local government initiatives struggle to keep up with the growing demand. Meanwhile, the stark contrast between wealth and poverty is ever present. Many homeless individuals feel invisible as the city rushes past them. Outreach programs and mobile clinics try to bridge the gap, but the challenges are immense. As the sun sets over the city, the crisis remains, a stark reminder of the work still to be done. San Francisco, once the tech capital of the world, is now infamous for its homelessness crisis. Skyrocketing rents, drug addiction, and gentrification have forced many onto the streets, even as luxury condos rise in the skyline. The city, known for its innovation and wealth, now faces a stark contrast between the affluent and the destitute. Community outreach programs and volunteers work tirelessly to provide aid, but the problem persists. The tech boom brought prosperity to some but left many behind. Protests against high rent and the tech industry's impact on housing continue to grow. The city's policies and initiatives have yet to make a significant dent in the crisis. City officials hold meetings and public forums, seeking solutions to this complex issue. The challenge remains: how to balance growth and innovation with compassion and support for all residents. As San Francisco continues to evolve, the hope is that a more inclusive future can be built, where everyone has a place to call home. The Big Apple has one of the largest homeless populations in the United States. Shelters are full, public space is overcrowded, and the situation is dire. Thousands of families live on the edge trying to survive in one of the world's most expensive cities. The high cost of living in New York City has exacerbated the homelessness crisis, making it difficult for many to afford basic necessities. Food insecurity is rampant, with many relying on shelters and food banks to get by. Despite the challenges, the community comes together to support one another, offering hope and solidarity. Public transportation is a lifeline for many, providing access to jobs and services across the city. Advocacy groups are tirelessly working to address the root causes of homelessness, pushing for more affordable housing and better social services. Local government officials are also stepping up, implementing new policies and programs aimed at reducing homelessness. Community meetings are held regularly, bringing together residents, activists, and officials to find sustainable solutions. As night falls, the city that never sleeps continues to grapple with this pressing issue, but there is hope that with collective effort, change is possible. London is facing an alarming spike in rough sleeping and hidden homelessness. Cuts to social services and a lack of affordable housing have pushed many to seek shelter in parks, subways, and night buses. The city's iconic landmarks and bustling streets often overshadow the growing crisis. However, community efforts and volunteer organizations are stepping up to provide essential services. The local government has also been under pressure to address the issue more effectively. New affordable housing projects are in the pipeline, but progress is slow. Public protests and advocacy groups are demanding faster action and more comprehensive solutions. Personal stories of those affected highlight the urgent need for change. As night falls, the reality of homelessness becomes even more stark, with many seeking refuge in the shadows of the city. Each new day brings hope, but also the challenge of finding sustainable solutions to this growing crisis. Toronto's cold winters haven't stopped its homelessness crisis from escalating. As rental prices soar, more people are forced into shelters, tent encampments, or onto the streets, with little help from a strained housing system. The city's skyline, a symbol of prosperity, contrasts sharply with the reality on the ground. Community outreach programs and volunteers work tirelessly to provide some relief, but the scale of the problem requires more substantial policy changes and government intervention. Families, children, and the elderly are among the most vulnerable, facing harsh conditions daily. Despite the bustling city life, many residents remain unaware of the severity of the crisis. As night falls, the contrast becomes even more stark, with many seeking refuge wherever they can. Social services are overwhelmed, struggling to keep up with the growing demand for assistance. Yet, amidst the challenges, there is hope as the community comes together to support those in need. Often ranked one of the best places to live, Vancouver hides a harsh reality. Its downtown east side is overwhelmed by homelessness, drug use, and poverty. Even full-time workers can't afford rent here. The city council and local activists are working tirelessly to address these issues, with new affordable housing projects underway. Community kitchens and food banks are providing essential services, while mental health clinics and addiction recovery centers offer support. Community policing and neighborhood watch groups are also playing a crucial role. Despite these efforts, the struggle continues, but the spirit of Vancouver remains resilient. Sydney may be a stunning city, but its homelessness problem is worsening. The city, known for its iconic opera house and beautiful harbor, is facing a crisis that is hard to ignore. Indigenous communities are especially affected, with many struggling to find stable housing. The historical and systemic issues faced by these communities have only been exacerbated by the current housing crisis. High property values have made housing nearly inaccessible to the working class. The cost of living in Sydney has skyrocketed, pushing many to the brink of homelessness. Public housing and community shelters are overwhelmed, unable to meet the growing demand. Long waiting lists and limited resources mean that many are left without a place to call home. Despite the efforts of volunteers and charity organizations, the situation remains dire. Homeless outreach programs are doing their best, but the scale of the problem requires more substantial intervention. The local government is under pressure to address the issue, with protests and public outcry demanding affordable housing solutions. The need for policy changes and increased funding is more urgent than ever. Families and children are among the most vulnerable, often finding themselves in temporary shelters with uncertain futures. The impact on their lives is profound and lasting. Yet, amidst the challenges, there is hope. Community initiatives and the resilience of the people of Sydney show that with the right support, change is possible. The city continues to strive for a future where everyone has a place to call home. Dublin's housing market has exploded in recent years, making rent unaffordable for many. Families with children, young adults, and migrants are now among the growing population without a stable place to call home. The city council has been grappling with this crisis, holding numerous meetings and discussions to find solutions. Protests have erupted across the city, with citizens demanding more affordable housing options and better support for those in need. Despite new housing developments and construction projects, the demand far exceeds the supply, leaving many without hope. Abandoned buildings stand as a stark contrast to the bustling new developments, highlighting the disparity in housing availability. Community shelters and soup kitchens have become lifelines for those struggling to find a place to stay. Volunteers work tirelessly to provide food, shelter, and support, but the resources are stretched thin. Families moving into shelters often face uncertainty and instability, but these shelters offer a glimmer of hope. Children find moments of joy playing in these safe spaces, while volunteers continue to organize donations and support. As the sun sets over Dublin, the city remains resilient, with communities coming together to support one another. There is hope that with continued effort and solidarity, Dublin can overcome this housing crisis and provide a stable home for all its residents. These cities represent more than just population centers. They reveal the growing global struggle between wealth and poverty. Homelessness is no longer someone else's issue. It's happening now, and it's happening everywhere. If we don't act, more lives will be lost in the cracks of society. Please consider subscribing if you want more informative content like this one. See you in the next video, travelers.